Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Charles Eisenstein. And the thought of his message this morning is we have to believe in a more beautiful world in order to serve it. We have to believe in a more beautiful world in order to serve it. Leanne, good morning. Lorraine, good morning. Awesome starting my day with you guys. Right, to talk us through this thought process into our meditation. The thought that he starts with is that sometimes it feels as though our soul kind of resists the kind of life that the world offers. Is that something you ever feel like your soul resists the kind of life the world offers? It's as if we have a deeper knowing that this can't quite be the way that it's supposed to be. That this can't be it. That it has to. There must be something that we're missing. The first thought from Charles Eisenstein this morning says, addiction, self-sabotage, procrastination, laziness, rage, chronic fatigue, depression, there are all ways that we withhold our full participation in the program of life that we are offered. When the conscious mind cannot find a reason to say no, the unconscious says no in its own way. Jacqueline, a very good morning. Charlene, good morning. Somebody, good morning. Nella, good morning. Awesome seeing you all. He's trying to say that something inside of us often protests against the way, not really the way the world is. I like the way he says it. The program of life that the world offers. Something in us is often protesting against this, against what we're being offered. And there's a question here. Is it possible that addiction, self-sabotage, procrastination, laziness, chronic fatigue, and depression, is it possible that they'd all be a lot less prevalent if what the world offered was more nourishing to our soul? And I think there's a truth there for sure. He goes on by saying, we sense that normal is not coming back and that we are being born into a new normal, a new kind of society, a new relationship to the earth, a new experience of being human. Anthony, good morning, dude. Good to see you there. But this is where this thought comes from. He says, we have to believe in a more beautiful world in order to serve it. Israela, good morning. Good to see you here. Don't let all that is wrong with the world overcome you. Don't give up on how beautiful the world is and just how much more healthy society can be. We have to believe in a more beautiful world in order to serve it. Because if we don't, if we get overwhelmed by all that is bad in the world, then why would we show up in service of it? We have to make the firm decision to believe in a more beautiful world in order to be of service to it. Ilza, good morning. So then how do we change? How do we change? How do we make changes? His words are, how do we change the world? We change the story. It starts with each of us changing our own story. The story I tell myself of who I am, of what I am, of how I serve. It starts with each of us collectively, individually, and together, looking at how we see ourselves, how we see our place in the world, and changing our story. And as we collectively change our individual stories, we're changing together. While we don't really know who and what we are, then the story that the world sells us will always be where we try to find validation. I want you to really get this. While we don't really know who and what we are, then the story that the world sells us will always be where we try to find our validation. We can do this together, but we have to change our stories. We have to find, I don't want to say answers because answers are tricky, but we have to find a deeper sense of who we are, what we are, and how it is that we contribute. Our meditation this morning is this: a sense that there is inner wisdom that knows, and we can listen, and we can find that we can act from that inner wisdom. It asks these 3 questions, or it claims these 3 statements. I know who I am, I know what I am, and I know how I serve. But it also takes these statements to our soul to ask the question that maybe I don't get this fully. Is there guidance here? Who is it that I am? What is it that I am? How is it that I serve? So if you're ready, let's dive into today's meditation experience. I couldn't see who, but I love all of the hearts bursting in the corner of my screen. If you're ready, you can close your eyes. Here we go. Let's jump into today's journey together. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. Deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill your belly with air, feel yourself expand from your core out in all directions. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. Every time you breathe out, slump down your shoulders, drop your head, soften your body. Continue your own full body breathing. And entertain this thought for a moment. Have you met your soul? Do you have a deep sense of your soul? Your body has a shelf life. There was a date that this body came into being, and there will be a date where this body ceases being. But there is something more to you, something without a shelf life. It is a little bit like the mountain. It has been around. It has seen it all come. It has seen most of it go. Just imagine being able to see with that perspective If you could see with that perspective, would it be easier to understand what is really important and what is really not? This is how your soul sees. This is the wisdom that your being has. What makes it difficult for us to hear that voice is very human. It is the loudness of our own fears. It is the loudness of all the difficulty we're dealing with. But don't underestimate the access you can have to the wisdom of your soul when you do the work to work through the fears and turn down the volume. Because if the volume of the fears are lower, we hear our soul a lot more easily. The guidance is always there. We'll do the last few big breaths of this phase together. It helps to make our bodies feel more comfortable in sitting for the rest of this meditation. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles. Forward and to the left, and also forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, you can focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left and lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence as much as we possibly can, we'll turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit with us for the whole meditation, this would be a great place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey with us, with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a long, slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel the muscles of your body soften, and invite that softness into every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow. Feel how your shoulders are slowly falling. Feel how your body is slowly softening. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but only for as long as it feels easy. Followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, take this thought with you. Sitting at the feet of my soul. Can you see the picture? Take your next big breath. As you take your next big breath and as you dive deep into you, I want you to embrace the same thought again. Try and make it visual. Our body, our brain responds very well to visual cues. The more visual you can see this, the lower your own brain waves are. And your subconscious benefits from that. What would the picture look like if you were to sit at the feet of your soul and listen? If you were able to use your soul as a wise teacher, what would that picture look like? Create it as well as you can. Take your next big breath. I'm using for this again the work of Paul Selig and the guides, who talk about claiming these three statements. I know who I am, I know what I am, I know how I serve. Claim it. And we'll do that right now. And know which part of you really owns this, even if I might not know exactly. Maybe I claim it loudly, but I really don't know how I serve. This teaching asks that you understand, when you claim this, that your soul knows. That it's okay that you might not have the answers, but your soul knows. So in our journey today, we'll claim it, but also take it to our soul and ask. So for your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the words are, I know who I am. Repeat them to yourself. What does it feel like when you say the words? What does it feel like if they roll around in your head? What picture do you get when you claim this boldly? I know who I am. Take your next big breath. And then take the question in humility to your soul. Because maybe I don't really know who I am, but I know you know. Sitting at the feet of your soul, ask. Simply ask in sincerity, humility, honesty. Who is it that I am? Can you ask a question and not be desperate for an answer? Can you ask a question and also completely let it go? And just see if anything comes from deeper within you. With your next big breath, who is it that I am? Take your next big breath. The next statement to claim is, I know what I am. Claim it. Say it to yourself. Say it to the world. I know what I am. And understand that your soul really knows. As you take your next big breath, feel the words in your mouth, have them in your head, bring them down into your body. What does it feel like when you claim this? I know what I am. What image does this create for you? Take your next big breath. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, humbly take this down to your soul. Sit at the feet of your soul and give this to your soul, asking, what is it that I am? Simply ask sincerely. Can you ask and also let go of the need for an answer, trusting that your soul knows? What is it that I am? Take your next big breath. third statement that we are asked to claim is, I know how I serve. I know how I serve. How do those words feel in your mouth? Say them over to yourself a few more times. I know how I serve. How does that feel in your body? What image does it create for you? Take your next big breath. And then take it down to your soul as a question. How is it that I serve? Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release. Sorry, there was a breath hold I missed. I'd love to try again. Take a deep breath in. And hold. And as you release, make it the longest, slowest breath hold you possibly can. A deep breath in. And hold. As you release, invite softness into every fiber of your being. And one more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. No more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. While we don't really know the answers to these questions, the story the world tells us, the story the world tries to sell us, will always be the place where we try to find our validation. And while we try to find our validation in the story the world tells us, then we are complicit in that story. Marketing is aimed at making you feel insecure about who you are and promising that you'll be more if you buy this, if you look this way, if you drive that car. The only way we opt out is by seeing how silly that is. Of course, nothing external can make me more, because I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. That's the only time we stop playing along in the story the world tells us. We gotta each do our own work and do it together. And as more of us do our work together, find that there is more support for a new story. A story in which the biggest law we live our lives by is love. A story in which it just becomes so clear when something does not come from love. Or we can say, I want no part in this. This doesn't come from love. But we only get there if we all opt out of the story the world tells us. And we can only do that if we get better at changing our own story. Knowing who it is that we are, knowing what it is that we are, and really knowing how it is that we serve. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this beautiful teaching, all the way from Paul Selig, his guides, and Charles Eisenstein, and really all of the great teachers before. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for seeing so clearly the fake story the world tells us. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for not blaming the world anymore. Not making the world guilty for telling us the story, but doing my work so that the story simply doesn't appeal to me anymore. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for all the beautiful humans opting out of the old story and doing hard work to change their own stories, knowing that this is the only way. We do it differently, not by attacking the world, but by changing ourselves. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for this journey. I was certainly visiting my soul and almost forgot to come back. Vivian, good morning. Pat, good morning. Estelle, good morning. Thank you, Ilza. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Sunmarie and Leanne, and Jacqueline and Lorraine. I'm trying to see who else is in the background. Israela. Anyone else in our journey this morning? Have an awesome day. Lots of love to you all. It's not the world's fault. Here's a simple example, a very simple example. We can blame McDonald's for the crappy food they sell. We can't blame them for the fact that people buy. If we all insist on not buying that, only buying healthy food, if everyone only buys healthy food, McDonald's will have a new menu. They're also responding to us. Leshna, good morning. Thank you. Lots of love to you all. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.